Hello, Ndewo. Mwawu Chukwudi here, reading from the content of my diaries. So, n'ụbọchị taa, what I want to do is to dive straight into the list of vehicles which I saw Mike buy as soon as our mother fell sick. Mama anyị nọ na the church ebe a na-emegali ekpere. Mike came with a Peugeot 505, which I think it was a saloon, which he came and he wasn't driving at this time. Only a driver, he just sat comfortably at the back, and somebody else was driving while he came to visit the church. So that was the Peugeot 505. So after the 505, he began to do the completion of our father's house in the village. I spoken about how my dad was not earning enough. Salary of 150 naira was not enough to speed up the process of a house, especially when he has two sons, Mike and Chinedu, who are in college. So mgbe ha na jikwa na jiji finishela ahụ school na bidokwana ọrụ behave according to how she behave. So the house remained the way it was until Mike na agachala Italy ya na lọdụọ ịkwana hụ jikwa bịa mechaa na decide ya actually je complete the house. He went and completed the house, and this was where myself I feel that I was defeated, because apart from that na eguzokwa m ọtọ na-ele ya na ego ahụ na-atị aka were ji na-enye our dad to be able to help to support in taking care of our mother, which he was not supposed to do. Because aga eji mama anyị were ji mụọ ọgwụ ego bịa wee fakwa ego ahụ were ji na-enyekwa our dad shọhụ were ji zụ ama ahụ were ji na-enye our mother. I think it was not fair. And at the same time, he went and completed that our father's house, which I saw also as him going to pollute and contaminate the little portion of land where my dad was struggling to build a home for his family. So mgbe o ji finish that house, like ha plan machi kedota mama anyị na the church for some time, ya rush ya finish the house, then repatriate our parents back to the village where they will be dumped and probably forgotten. So emechala ụlọ ahụ. By April 1985, our dad was prepared to leave Lagos to Owerri. The condition my dad left was so bad because myself, I didn't have any job. I just finished my school. The place Papa Mtilamono na post office. The condition was that I was doing that job while my dad was there. So immediately my dad left, they pushed me out. So I became somebody who had no job. So Mapo Machinedu, okay, come and Ebigla no na Radio Nigeria. You should come and stay with me in the house. Can you maintain the possession of that one room? He came, and I also want to say that the condition Papa Anyeji Labo mụnwa enwe m ọrụ enwekwana m any source of income. Ya mere na njiri hapụ ya, o ji kpọrọ Joe na IK were lakpuo. Otherwise, if I had job and doing some certain things, maybe Joe would have stayed back with me. At this time, Sailor was already gone, staying with the pastor of the church after the crisis. So papa anyị alapụmana hapụzie m n'ụlọ. So mgbe Chinedu jiri Bia. Actually, he came to come and stay with me. Share ebe ọ nọ ọrụ gị ọrụ. He should come and let us maintain this house. Ka m struggle kwanụ na-achọ ọrụ. Chukwu ga-eme m ebere, aga m achọrọ ọrụ. Then we will not have any problem taking care of one room that our father have left. So Chinedu came. Ọ nọghị 2 weeks. Ya kwashi Shaya went na admission na University of Jos. Lakwo me am abandoned in the house alone. So Chukwu emebere. The woman in where the house was actually threatening. She actually kicked him out because I was not forthcoming with the rent due to the fact that I was not employed. So one woman very much, which I took her as a mother. So because myself, she was an old woman at that time. So this woman was very good. To repair everything electrical. So this woman was a member of the Landlady Association of Oduero. So we actually getting Maka to be able to plead to the landlady in Mulani, Alajatawa. So she pleaded on my behalf. The woman continued to give me troubles. One room. I refused to do that according to my own principles. So by this time, there was nothing for me to do. It was soon after that, in 1986, I started working I secured an employment at Lagos African insurance company. So that gave me some kind of hope. So I was talking about the list of vehicles anyway. So after the Papa in Nigeria Labo to the village in April, Master Law, rule December. By then I have not started working because I started working in 1986. By December 1985, Mambalia, J.O. Because he happened mama, be at the to the village in December as part of the family reunion at Christmas time. Na village at that Christmas time. Then one motorcycle Azoro in by the back of the side of Papa's side of the house. So after that, my home Peugeot pickup 404. Mr. Mike where Azoro ya boss Mike bidololo. Agejia original zo building materials from original papdo apabada everyone go there. Okay. Then my home another Range Rover which belonged to Mike. Okay. So in Lagos, this Mazda 929 which he was driving somehow. So after that, he by 1988 upload this motor back to the village, which the engineer and one lawyer began to use it to run around. Although we had this Mazda already, got the engineer and about Admark on Yoruba. So then he bought another Peugeot 504. I mean that time about Argentina, which he was driving. So I remember very fine. This Peugeot 504 was used. It was shuttling between Lagos and sometimes it would be parked in the village. Oh, this motor one day after Mbanje mega inquiry whatever that was going on in the life of our mother, I got the conclusion about what has happened and I needed to talk to Mike. I remember that Mike was he was seated in this car and somebody else was driving Odunazu. So obia oshibeke ya nyana fuda by then anuchala ole ya eshibeke ya fuda nyana fuda. Then bebia ze our mom So off mahula mapo maya share. Showing young henchro kamuni discuss so hoping that he will sit down, he will come back and then do nobody who henchro magwa henchro gweni. Then there she hake henchro gweni or gene that cannot wait. He just snubbed at me and then opened the door, slammed the door on me, and then asked the driver to move this vehicle from here, and then they left. So that was Peugeot 504. So after that, he then bought a Mercedes-Benz car, which was gray in color. I had Papa and will this motor. But as long as I'm concerned, and for God being the witness, and waiting for Papa and inside that motor, it was all the time packed in his premises. What he was doing was making a collection of vehicles for his own need. I don't know why. So after that Mercedes, which was a gray in color, so he bought another Mitsubishi L300 in Lagos. This bus was offered to Nwuneta Ebere, nwunye nwunye ya a na-akpọ Anthony. So o ji eje agba transport. So after that, he bought another Mercedes 500 SEL. This Mercedes was parked at Papa's place, probably because Ebeke adịma space on it. So ya na were this motor. Then park ya na Ebeke Sajo na obiri Papa anyị. It was standing there for some time. So after that, he bought there was a yellow Mercedes which was now driven by him, which was parked permanently in Lagos. And at certain stage, this Mercedes-Benz was shifted to his wife for her own, like in her or Madam's car. So soon after, Chiji Mana War, whatever they did with Chiji, because Chiji was used to revive the money ritual, according to the process, which I find out. That it will require periodical renewal of the commitment of the pledge for the money ritual. Need another human life. So mgbe Chiji jiri nwụọ ọnọghị ọdụ yapaf this Pajero white color. So Cyril hụ onye kpọrọ m si Chukwudi, Chiji nna anyị nwụrụ elichabele ya nwanne anyị ha kpafụta this car ha ilechekwa anya. So ọkwara hụ na jikwa na ji dịkwanụ m surprised today that even though people like Cyril na wụcha ndị back ya mic up and the other members of Umofakaja, with all this happening, onwekwana onye Umofakaja agachi na ya ma, because nnekwa na-agagharị emewerekwa ntị gba ọmanala nakwa na-ege what people are saying within the kindred. They know that this money was not coming from any other source. Ya nwekwana nwere any other source ego ndị ahụ eji afọ aga. People should be able to, Mike na ụmụnne ya should be able to prepare the evidence. Dota adị ama ebe this matter nwere ike ru, even though it is forgotten, but things that resembles whatever that has happened during that time is still happening in Umaganguru today, especially among my father's children. Why? Because they feel that nobody was able to speak or to protest about whatever that was going on. So after that, after this Pajero, he came up with a Toyota Celica. So this Toyota Celica, red color, was the motor nke Joe Ojiriwe look back to the village were key ya Hoprala, because after nga Joe no with Mike agricultural settle, Mike was not doing anything. Franca could not intercede. Chinedu could not intercede. IPA could not intercede. Shioke, Mike, Joe no here as I've worked since 1996, because immediately Papa Anyejiri Jilabo 1985. The next year, Mike rent Lolea Nejigbo 1986. He took Joe off Joe went and stayed with him and began to serve Mike in 1986. So from 1986, Dagamonwa law, Bebe Wolf Egon, Gigi support Joe to go to abroad. Joe was at home doing nothing. All Joe was doing was washing these cars, brushing the floor, preparing the children to go to school. If I know or road waga hije school, if I know which particular car or choro iduni ka driver kwere je. Enwechara driver ndị ga-ịkwọ ndị ga-enya madam jee ndị ga-enya ụmụaka jee ndị ga-ịkwọrọ Mike jee ndị ga-ịkwọrọ ya n'ụlọ. Everybody nwechara their own jobs driving different cars. So this Toyota Celica was the motor nke Joe jiri iwe lohu back to village ọ bịa para shi ka ya jeje all no succeeded ire this motor ihe kwa ọ gara ike iji ego were je settle onwe ya, which I supported him to do that. It was the nice thing he wanted to do because Mike supposed to settle or go to somebody as one boy yes avoid maximum time is 4 years. You set him up, you try to establish something for him, but keeping your own blood brother Osafrogene came in 1986 up till 2000, 2002, 2003. It was not proper at all. It was a criminal offense. So Joe came to retrieve this motor to sell it, to be able to use it to find his own means of survival. In the process, this motor was crashed. So the next motor I saw Mike with was a Mercedes-Benz again, 230. This one that is here, the color is dark blue. So after that, he bought a Honda Accord. This particular Honda Accord now is the one that was always stationed at Olakwo on Ibeja Park here. Dote ya ji decorate the compound ndị ọgọ ya. Eji na anyị issue yes. Ami ọgọ he nwoke onye maga ngwuru onye with this motor. So this motor was parked there until a certain time they moved this motor to Lagos. So this one was a Toyota Corolla. As for this one, especially if I know a school. So that is the list of vehicles. And at this time, I would like to leave a disclaimer that vehicles that I use in showing here are examples of and same color anyway of these vehicles I'm talking about. They might not be the original vehicle. So that is as a point of disclaimer. So another thing I actually make it clear here, at this time as well, these vehicles I didn't know from I didn't try to contest him buying, doing whatever he wants to do. It's your life, do what you want to do. But all I was more interested in was in taking care of my mother and making sure that my dad was comfortable managing with the situation he found himself. So, and in next probably in subsequent comments from the content of my diary, Basara, what happened, the time Naji struggle but there to Finland. The first motor was a Toyota Hiace bus Mpabdoro. To Mona Mike Gigi with friction because Mike struggled to confiscate that motor. Meji weji nana yahu. Then after general chaya abakwanya atam lilo onwe m na jeje nọrọ another place ejeghị m apụkọrọ ya ndụ. So ọ na-ajikwa na Gigi connive with ụmụnne ya ekekwa Chinedu, Frank na Ike ha eje plan ya to be able to go to our dad because onwetu mgbe m jiri no matter what happened mụ na Mike ji drag that motor. I never went to my dad to make a complaint. I never went to my dad to go and report. She papa lekwa ihe mega no lego to Mike jiri seize my motor lekwa blah blah. I didn't do that. jeje report onwe ha to our dad. My dad ji shi had on ha ga like ka ha dota originate among his children that ha ga beji anyị because oge ya na ha eru anyị menoki and ready and might die at any time, that he may want to leave and depart knowing very fine that his children were at peace. So in 2004 my father brought Mike and I together and made peace. Muna Mike Ahogo and then embraced. And I was hoping that that was the end of whatever crisis that was between the two of us. But I never know that it was only the beginning. Thank you for listening.